What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Spellspire by 10 Tons. This is a dungeon crawling RPG that is entirely based around word games, perhaps surprisingly enough. I don't know how, where, or why this has become a thing, but word games do seem to actually have become my thing, so okay, I'm happy to take a look at this. I don't mind a bit of slaying monsters by spelling words. I can kind of get behind that concept. So yeah, you can see, you don't get to hang around on the title screen so much. This is basically where you get dropped into the game. We have a tower to climb. You kind of get some silhouettes of nasties that are going to appear further up. But yeah, there's 100 floors of tower to climb. And yes, I have to click and drag to get around it. I guess I could... Woo! That takes us right down to the bottom. That's not helpful because I want to be back to where I'm at. Basically, a lot of this game feels like it's designed for a touch interface, which is kind of weird because, to the best of my knowledge, it's not. I don't know. Strange. Anyway, if we head into the shop will be brought to us before we get into each level, so we can have a quick look at our little character. We are this little cute nerd kind of dude up here, big jam jar glasses and a magic wand. He's going to be going slinging spells throughout the dungeon. If we click on him, we can see some numbers about him. We can see how many things he has slain and how much gold he has earned, and basically how much damage he does. This is an interesting one because at first glance, when you get for your first one, it says it's like 20 damage up to like 1,000 damage. And you're like, that's quite a range of damage. And as you go along, the range gets even more gratuitous. Like at this point, I've got the base damage is about 1,000, but it can go up to 34,000. It's like, well, that's a lot of damage range, but it's entirely based on how long the words are that you spell. You can see that there. For a 3-letter word, you do about 1,000 damage. If I can put together a humongous 10-letter word, I'm going to smash a boss for like 34,000 damage. That's something you're going to want to try and do, really, if we're honest. So that's kind of neat. First, it's like, is that just like crits? But no, it's entirely based on your skill at spelling words, and that's kind of neat. We've got a... This is Satir telling me there's a thing. It's a weird kind of please come back and play our game mechanic. If it was on a mobile game, I would almost say it was some sort of incentive to make you come back. But again, it's a PC game. I can come back at my leisure, right? I don't need to be told to play it every 8 hours. Yep, we get scrolls or potions. Those are all kind of meh. Whatever, I'll take that. Cursed bolts deal cursed damage to the nearest enemy. And then there, yeah, 8 hours. In 8 hours' time, that chest will open. I should come back in 8 hours and open another chest, right, guys? Really? Really? On my PC game? On a mobile thing where they want me to come back and look at adverts? I could understand it, but not here. So that's a thing. I really haven't used the items too much. Mostly they're good for selling in order to buy yourself upgrades. But yeah, let's have a look at some things. So we get a series of wands as you can see, as we progress our way up the tower, we will unlock more things. Each level has a kind of a hard mode, which unlocks you a star. So some of them require you to have completed a certain number of hard mode levels, and most of them just require you to have reached a certain floor of the tower. So when I reach floor 27, I will unlock the next tier of wand. They all do, thus far that I found, successively more and more damage. Your basic fire wand deals 300 to 5,000 damage. That one deals 500 to 7,000 damage. It's not even fully upgraded yet. That one deals 800 to 10k damage. And this one deals 800 to 10k damage, and it's barely upgraded. So I could sink some money into that and it would become more powerful. 3,600, I can afford that. Sure, let's... Boom. There we go. That's now 945 to 12k. And my top end damage now moves up to 39,000. So it all scales nicely there. Clothing works in a similar fashion. We start out with the little one, the apprentice's robe. Honestly, many of the challenges in the game revolve around you not actually getting hit at all, and to that end, I do feel like the apprentice's robe is actually probably one of the more powerful weapons, or armors rather, insofar as monsters take longer to attack you. Well, if your aim is not to get hit whatsoever, then actually it doesn't matter how much health the robe has, only the effect is going to be useful, and monsters taking longer to actually hit you, dang, that's going to be a pretty good one. I've used that to fairly solid effect on a couple of occasions. Similarly, in the hats, you kind of got the second tier of hat is first monster takes twice as long. Well, what if you're going up against a boss? The boss is the first monster. You can slow it down completely. And a lot of boss monsters, in my experience so far, just seem to one-shot you anyway, regardless. So, hey, you may as well just try and never get hit by the boss monster and try and slay it before it can actually hit you. That seems to be the strategy. So there's some interesting kind of RPG-esque strategy involved in making sure you got the right loadout for things. If we have a look at the next floor, floor 25, we have a couple of unicorn zombies, a gelatinous goo, another unicorn zombie, and a couple of skeletons. If we have a look in my Monsterpedia, we can kind of see what all their weaknesses are and equip ourselves accordingly. So we got these guys. They are weak to, that is fire and drain life. The gelatinous goo is weak to drain life. I should probably be using some sort of drain life, right? We're not going up against a unicorpse just yet, so I think my drain life wand is probably going to serve me quite well here. That is this one, my cheap wand of death is pretty good. That's going to serve me well here. So let's hop on in and actually spell some words. You monsters, you! So we get these, and you've seen this kind of thing before. Spell words, hit enemies. The longer the word, the more damage you're going to do. That's going to drain life as well. So let's try and kill it. Nope. Hogs. That's a good word. There we go. If you do ever longer words, sign. Nope. Trying to find a 5-letter word, but trying to talk and find 5-letter words at the same time is trickier than I think. Hosing. That's a good one. 6-letter. So you will like sometimes, I guess not in this instance. Nosing. No, there isn't another one. Damn. Just go with nose. Nose. You will sometimes fire 2 shots is what I'm trying to get at. Nope. This is it. Every single time I have to review a word game, I have this problem, is that I can't think of words and talk about the game at the same time. These are really tricky genres to actually try and critique. But, you know, mechanically speaking, they're all very similar, to be fair. This is kind of interesting that it does tell you the longest unfound word that you've had. It was in there. So whooshing. I could have had a 9-letter word. That word I'm almost certain would have one-shotted that nice goo. So we do get to keep the money we earned on that floor. So there's just this slow grinding RPG progression. Even if you're not winning, you're still getting money. You can still buy yourself some upgrades. That might be all you need. So we get some different letters. So oust, ousted. That's a better one. So that's, yeah, 1 shot because I was so much better. Yeah. Don't know. Shed. Sure. Sud? I don't know. Sud is totally a word. Oh man. House is a great word. Shoud. BD. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now, what I should have done there, I recognize, is I've still got the items in my inventory. I should have frozen the goo, and that would probably have bought me enough time to actually do it. Alright, right. Tail. Later. We might die before I get... No. Tine. Tine is a thing. So now I can use this to great effect. So he's not going to attack now. Tyler. Cool. So we'll go with Tile as well. Ryle as well while we're at it. Rail. Sure. Oh, that's not rail. Rail. Trail. So far, so word game, right? Now, is this American spelling? No. Train? Did I go with train? No. Okay, cool. We got that. And relate? Oh yes, relate is a good word. Bam. There we go. That is level complete. Got a bunch of money for doing so. And onwards, up the tower. Alienate I could have had. I did not have Alienate. So that's that. There's really, honestly, not much more to it than that. It's standard RPG progression. It's very simple mechanics is what it is. Move up tower, earn money, buy better hats, buy better clothes, buy better wands. Have a look at your stats. You can, if I earn enough money, I can buy an extra item slot so I can carry 3 items at a time. We got a couple little passive upgrades, so if I spend some money on that, that'll just increase my base attack, so regardless of the weapon, my attack's going to get better. We can buy ourselves a little more base health as well. But those seem weirdly minor for what they are. It's like plus 27 health. That's not much health. And certainly at the higher levels of the tower, because, you know, you got a whole RPG kind of power creep going on. Enemies are hitting you pretty hard. I don't know whether that base health is then going to kind of get multiplied by the robes I'm wearing to some degree. Obviously, with the base damage, that will then get multiplied by your combo. So if you get plus 22 damage, presumably by the time that reaches times 10, that's several thousand extra damage potentially, I don't know. But yeah, I can see how that could make a difference. The health kind of almost doesn't seem to make much difference, I wouldn't have thought. Especially as I've already pointed out, ideally what we're trying to do is not take any damage at all. So let us go to floor 21. Let's backtrack a bit. So we are fighting skeletons and eyeballs there. Let us strategize against skeletons and eyeballs. Skeletons, we know, is weak to poison and ice. I wanted the eyeball as well. That is weak to fire. That resists ice, so presumably I should probably just go with poison or fire, I think. Because anything else is not going to work. And my fire wand is particularly weak, so maybe I shouldn't go with fire. I think poison might be the way forward on that one. So let's equip that and see how well we do with that. So basically what we want to do here is the star challenge. Every single level I've found seems to be the same. There's no variety in this, unfortunately. It would be nice to see some variety here, but the challenge is complete the level, survive with full health remaining, and all the enemies are going to attack you 10% faster. You will get a bunch of money, and you will get a star for completing it. Those stars will obviously then unlock better equipment as you go up the tower, and well, the money is always going to be nice as well. So let us hop on in and have a go at that. Mostly this one's going to be about speed. How quickly can you kill things? Drone. Droner? Droner is a good word. So, yep. Load. Cool. Will that kill you? Yeah, 3 shots. Loner. These are good. So these are great. Nod. I don't know. Look, can we just go with lone? Yeah, there we go. That was easy enough. Because of the RPG nature of the progression, it kind of does trivialize some of the earlier floors, unfortunately. Because I'm now like 5 floors above and I bought a lot of extra equipment. I don't think I did... Well, I think I did okay there, but that last kind of guy... If I hadn't had a good wand, I probably would have run out of steam towards the end of that. The only reason I was able to just steamroll that floor was because my gear is so much better. It does have an RPG kind of gear progression thing. So by the time you're at floor 26, trying to star floor 21 ain't all that hard. Floor 22 is probably not going to be too bad either, and so on and so forth. If I carry on doing the progression, if you go back and do these floors and star them, they're easy. So in that regard, the progression is maybe a touch broken. But ultimately, I'm finding I don't care, because spelling words to kill things is just a really satisfying experience. I don't know, there's something about word games. I mean, it's always the way, really. It's just spelling words to fight bad guys is just kind of cool. So what can we buy with this? We can buy a hat that gives us bonus damage and a lot more health than my current one. And I have a 20% chance to evade any monster attack, which is an interesting kind of gamble, I suppose. To some degree, if you're kind of going for a no damage run for a star, and are willing to try and kind of tank one hit, you've got like a 20% chance of tanking that one hit. At the same time, also worth noting that you do have these items here. I can sell them if I don't want those. I might hang on to those though. But, yeah, you get health potions, and it doesn't say don't take damage, in all fairness. It just says have full health at the end of the level. with a bit of tactical use of a potion, if you had a heal yourself for 75% potion, which is a potion you can find, they're not uncommon, you can hang on to one of those, and just before you land the killing blow on the final enemy, you pop yourself back up to full health. You could probably claim the star in that regard. So, perhaps a touch cheaty in that manner as well. Not something I've tried, but it sounds like that would totally work. We could probably... You know what, if I were to, like, sell some of these, I could probably pick up a potion and have a crack at trying that. Let's have a look at that. So let's do some more of these. I don't even know if I've got the right weapon here. I didn't gear up! Oh no! Oh no! Sleet! Right. Holes. Cool. You can only fire once you get within a certain range of them, but there we go. Oh, no. Lest. Gale? Yeah, and Gales. Hail? Hails? Is that right? That is a word. Cool. Goal definitely is a thing. And goals. And heals. This guy's tough. Pots? There we go. So I didn't get to do my potion trick anyway, but nonetheless I win because my wand is quite powerful, is ultimately long and short of it. It is good for teaching you words that you have absolutely no idea what they were, or had no idea even existed. Just in this, well, I don't know what a helitage is. I would never have spelt helitage because I was not aware that that was a word. And sometimes it will do kind of like compounds and prefixes and suffixes to make words that you're like, oh yeah, I can see how that's a word, but I would never have thought of like creating that as a word. It's a little bit strange. But there we go. There's not much more to it than that. As I say, it is just a pretty basic RPG progression. It's upgrade your gear, and then go back and steamroll lower floors, which are now too easy for you because you've upgraded your gear, and keep going up. There's, as you can see, there are 100 floors, and each of those then has the star mode as well. There's a good bit of content to keep you going, and I do believe, just by looking at the achievements, that once you've done that, there's actually a dungeon that goes down as well. There's not just 100 floors going up, there's a, I think, potentially infinitely generated dungeon that just keeps going down. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's the impression I get that there is. So if you like spelling words to kill things, there's a good amount of content to keep you occupied. As I say, for all the lack of depth of interesting mechanics, which, to be fair, is true, because it's literally just spelling words to kill things with occasionally having to think about swapping your gear out to effectively counter enemies, and occasionally using items to strategize a little bit as well. For the most part, it's just spelling words. For all that's all the mechanic is, it's a very satisfying mechanic, and I don't know, I think I will always find word games to be a very satisfying mechanic. Just, I don't know, flexing your intellect to actually defeat your enemies through knowledge rather than brute force and skill. That's kind of cool, and it's a nice twist on, you know, nice twist on what you're getting most of the time in most games. I like that. Power through wisdom. It's cool. So yeah, Spellspire is a pretty satisfying little word game, but at the same time, I do find most word games pretty satisfying, if we're honest. There we go. This is out soon. It is out on the 23rd of May, Tuesday the 23rd. It will be available on Steam for, as far as I can make out, Windows only. But on the same week, it will also apparently be launching for PS4 and the Vita and the Xbone. The launch price on Steam will be $9.99 or your regional equivalent. If there is any launch discount, I do not know what it is at this stage. But there you go. That is Spellspire. I think this is a fun little title. So thank you very much for joining me. I've been Meroka, and we'll see you next time.